Tom, we don't have an intro for the Champions League. Oh. Quick, give me a quick jingle. Right, after that rousing reception, welcome back to Very Biased Opinions, everybody, and welcome to the start of another Champions League campaign. That is right, we'll be doing all the Champions League games for match day one, as well as a few selected ones for the Europa League. Timestamps are down below, as they always are. As always, don't use them. Watch the whole video. There's Audible links, there's Amazon links, there's Grandstand Betters links if you really want to win money. Grandstand Betters down in the description. We've got so many games to get through. Let's not waste any more time. Thomas, hit me with that first game.
Chelsea versus Sevilla.
Feeling you're going to back Chelsea in this game. So, no, well, I'm surprised. But tell me why not then. Tell me why you're not backing Chelsea.
Sevilla are like the St. Louis Cardinals in baseball. They are devil magic. They are furiously just annoying to watch. They never seem to look that good in a game, and yet they seem to keep winning in Europe. They almost beat Bayern. They won the Europa Cup. Somehow they beat Man United. They're unbeaten in 3 games this season, so obviously they will be going undefeated for the whole season. But honestly, even with Mendy in goal, and we'll talk about him in the next match as well, I just think Chelsea are a little bit weak at the back, and Sevilla don't ship goals in Europe. And I think that they're going to win this game 1-0, if I'm honest.
Yeah, the amount of times we backed against Sevilla, and we finally kind of learned, well, I did for that Europa League final, to never back against them. And this Chelsea side, they are still as erratic as they were last season. You do not know what Chelsea's going to turn up. They are fun to watch because they're great going forward and terrible at the back, so that's the best kind of like entertainment value for everybody. And I just think Sevilla will be a little bit, as what you said, I can't really go against that scoreline because Sevilla, you just feel it's going to be a little bit too nuanced.
Yeah, they played in Europe for so long. They're always there, and they're always doing well no matter what competition. They just perform. It's annoying, and I hate them. 1-0 to the Sevilla.
Oh, I thought you already gave your score. 2-1 Sevilla.
Rennes versus FK Krasnador.
Rennes, I don't think they've been in the Champions League before. I don't think.
I can't remember them being in the Champions League before.
I know Krasnodar, I think, have, but Rennes have been knocking around in Europa League a few times, so good for them. They finished second. They finished third last season, and they are actually top of the French league in the early throw-ins, despite losing their goalkeeper Mendy to Chelsea. But they still got Serhou Guirassy scoring the goals. He's got 3 already. What do you know about these Russians, though, Thomas?
I know that they are Russian. I know they were 3rd in the Russian league last year, and I know that they are 8th so far after 10 matches.
There we go. He's done his research.
I am backing a 2-2 draw in this match.
Yeah, it feels like a draw, but I'll go for a Krasnodar win. I think 1-0 Krasnodar. I feel the Russians are underestimated in Europe. I think they're strong.
You and I always underestimate them until one of us backs them, and the minute one of us backs them, they lose and drop out. Like, literally year in, year out. Them and the Ukrainians.
Well, let's see if that runs true again. Zenit St. Petersberg versus Club Brugge.
Well, Zenit last year literally smashed the Russian league all season. They're joint top now after 10 games in the league. And obviously, Club Brugge are Belgian champs, but they're in 2nd after 8 games. They're on a winning run right now. Ian, which of these clubs do you like in this match?
I'm going to go with Zenit, and I know that's back in 2 Russian sides in a row, but I always just feel it's a difficult journey, and I don't feel the Belgian league is that strong, and I think Zenit will win. I think it'll be a 2-0 Zenit win.
I am going to go 2-1 for Zenit.
Here we go. This one's got a little bit more spice to it. Lazio versus Borussia Dortmund.
The bridesmaids of German football make their European debut this season. They're currently 5th after 3 games. They're easily the 2nd best squad in the German league. When they're on, they play some of the most scintillating football. Jadon Sancho, Rennes up there for them. Obviously, Haaland's up front. They've got the Englishman, whose name is failing me, who's 17, who all of a sudden looks like a great player. Bellingham. But this Dortmund side are absolutely nuts. But what do you think of Lazio this year, Ian?
What does the SS stand for in Lazio?
Let's not get into that right now.
Yeah, well, obviously, they had a good season last season. They finished 4th. They've not started that well this season, though. 1 win, 1 draw. With 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. It's difficult for me to say. Just generally, I I'm going to be back in Dortmund. I don't have too much to say about Lazio, just simply because at this stage of the season, they always seem to be amazing, and everyone talks about how they're going to win everything. And then as the season goes on, they find a way to fuck it up. So Dortmund to win. I'm going for a nice 3-1 win for Dortmund.
Lazio crashed and burned at the end of last season. They were like up there, they were challenging, and then they fell apart after the break. Dortmund plays such good attacking football, and I think this is the year that their manager literally has to put up or shut up. I think he's out. They're not successful. So Dortmund 3-0. Dynamo Kiev versus Juventus.
Well, I know you're going to want to talk about Juventus, so I'll just touch on Dynamo Kiev. Top of Ukraine's Premier League, and they were second last year behind Shakhtar, but they were a distant second behind Shakhtar Donetsk. So I don't fancy too much from them. They're always a pretty solid side, but I think Juve will be too strong for them. And tell me why Juve will be too strong for them, Tom.
Well, actually, so Ronaldo won't be playing in this game, obviously, because he's self-isolating with coronavirus at this point. But that may actually help this Juventus side, who every now and then are slightly overshadowed by their reliance on Ronaldo. When he doesn't play, players like Dybala really do come to the fore, and they're able to utilize all their players in more of a team effort and less of a "we have Ronaldo, this is how you win the Champions League" method. They're the Italian champions. They've been the Italian champions for like 9 or 10 straight years. It's absolutely ridiculous. Currently, they're fourth after 3 games, but again, we're 3 matches in. I mean, like, Everton are top of the league in England, so what does that tell you? That Everton are going to win the league. I know, Ian, please don't say it again. I've got Juve to win this game, though. I think they're going to win this 2-1.
Yeah, you feel they need that Champions League. I mean, they're like a few sides. They desperately need this Champions League. But there's we'll get to sides like Paris Saint-Germain, and we can say the same things about them as well. Juve for me, very comfortable win. I think they'll win 2-0. Barcelona versus, oh my God,
I did.
Ferencvárosi. Oh, FTC. There we go. They're called FTC.
Ian, I have many exciting facts about FTC. They are both. I have 3 facts for you. They're the Hungarian champions. They're a famous old club, apparently, according to our notes, but they've not been in the Champions League since 1995, 1996. Rebrov is their manager, so any of you who are old enough will remember him as a great player. Ian, apparently Barcelona have a couple big names.
You know what you're going to get from Barcelona. It's still all about Lionel Messi. If he turns up, then they turn up. And other than that, it's been not that exciting for Barcelona on the pitch, really. I don't think they're hitting the heights of what they have done in the past. I don't think that's news to anybody, and I don't think Ronald Koeman is a particularly exciting choice as manager for them. But in a game like this, it's a nice easy start for them, isn't it? And they're going to be too strong. What, 3-0 Barca?
5-0 Barca. Oh God! All right, let's do this. Paris Saint-Germain versus Man United.
Right, well, let's get comfortable, folks, while we talk. Well, Tom tears Harry Maguire to shreds, probably. Hopefully not. Good, he's not going to do that. So I'll let you talk about Man U. I'm just going to say I will get back to PSG, but I will just say, obviously, they are also looking for revenge after a couple of seasons ago, where Man United dumped them out with that first of what's become many weird handball decisions.
Only the most literally one-sided fan would think that was a handball. But whatever. Man United are coming up against a very good PSG side that were just the beaten finalists. Obviously, they're having a bit of a hangover since the final. They lost 2 league games, including weird games and lots of...
He doesn't leave me anything to talk about. Talk about Man United, he talks about PSG.
No. Let's be honest. On very biased opinions, we must always back our teams. Therefore, I will back Man United to win this game 2-1.
Well, let's see what's left of Man United after Steve Bruce is finished with them after the weekend. It's a sort of game, I know you're looking completely downbeat on Man United and it doesn't look like any wins are possible at all, but these are the sort of games where Man United usually do play well in because they got the pace on the counter-attack. But obviously PSG, Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, they've got such amazing quality going forward. You think they're going to create plenty of chances against this Man United side. They had that weird game earlier on in the season where they had about 5 red cards against Marseille. And they got done for spitting, and Neymar accused someone of racial abuse. So they've had their basket case moments, to be sure. and they'll be hoping that they can go one step further than they did last season, where they were beaten finalists. But I'm going to back Man United as well, Thomas. Why not? Let's be English through and through about it. Let's say 2-1 to the Red Devils.
RB Leipzig versus Istanbul. Basaksehir here.
I liked Istanbul last season. I thought they were really good. They're a very underrated side. They did well in the Champions League. I think they got knocked out in the quarterfinals. They've not had a great start to the season. In fact, they've had a bit of a terrible start. It's only early days, remember, in all these leagues, but they bottomed the league. Haven't won a game, and have drawn 1, lost 3. So terrible start to the season. I'm sure they will improve, but they are coming up against one of the best sides in European football.
Yeah, Champions League semi-finalists, well beaten by PSG at the end of the day. They looked like they were going to beat them, and then they just kind of fell apart at the end. But this is one of the best attacking sides in Europe, one of the best possession sides in Europe, led by one of the most enigmatic young managers in the world. Joint top of the Bundesliga after 3 matches thus far. You feel like RB Leipzig are going to be too strong for them. They're generally quite good in Europe, RB Leipzig, especially as you saw last year at semi-finalists. I think they're just going to be too organised for this Istanbul side. I can see this being 2-0 to Leipzig.
Yeah, I also see a comfortable win for Leipzig. I'll go for a 3-1 victory because they always seem to like to lose a goal. But speaking of Red Bull, let's have another Red Bull. Red Bull Salzburg versus Lokomotiv Moscow.
I suppose I'll talk about the train then. They finished a distant second in the Russian league. They're third after 10 games right now. They finished bottom of a tough group last year with Juve, Atletico, and Leverkusen. They're going to be hoping for a bit better this year. And they're coming up against a Red Bull Salzburg side that they probably will fancy getting a result against. What do you think?
I think both sides will look at this one as a must-win game, really, because look who else is in their group. And, Red Bull, they always seem to win the Austrian league. That's no surprise. They always seem to get into the Champions League. They always seem to go out in the groups. So there's nothing new there. It'd be really, both of these sides will just be desperate to get out of a group phase for once and get through. I'll back Salzburg for a victory. I'll go for 2-1. 2-1.
I'm going for a 3-2 Moscow win.
Bit of a juicy tie. Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid.
Normally I just start shouting out the names of Bayern Munich, but I'm gonna refrain from doing that and just talk about what a well put together team this is.
Bierhoff, Rudy Buller.
They're so well put together. They haven't spent more than £25 million on any single player they have in their squad. They are such a good unit, and they are one of the few teams we see that go through the gears in a match. They start in first, and by the end they're in fifth, and just mullering teams. And they're coming up against such a well-defined Atletico Madrid team. What do you think of this, Ian?
They're just horrible, aren't they? Horrible to play against, horrible to watch for most people. They brought in some big names, though, let's be fair. Suarez, Morata and Carrasco, 3 big money signings. Played 3, 1-1, drawn 2, so they're having one of their usual slow starts to La Liga. These are the games they live for. But back against Bayern, you're a fool, really, aren't you? They lost 1 game, that random game to Hoffenheim.
In the last 12 months.
Yeah. So I'm backing Bayern. I think they'll overcome them. 3-1 win for Bayern Munich.
I think Bayern Munich will just get annoyed by this Atletico side and start to just hammer them. I'm going 4-0 to Bayern. Real Madrid for Shakhtar Donetsk.
You're probably better to talk about Real Madrid, but from what I see, because I know you like them more than you like Barca in La Liga, but from what I see is Zidane seems to be, one, making a conscious effort to get a lot more Spaniards into their side from who he's signed, and 2, just they seem a lot more resolute than they have done in the past. They're a lot more solid and not so flaky. And I
think we see with Zidane is that he's a great man manager, right? That's the one thing you can't say against him. He's been a fantastic man manager. The only player he seems to not get along with is Gareth Bale, and Gareth Bale's gone now. But I think this is the first time he's actually been able to build a Madrid side. I think before it was, here are the best players in the world and Ronaldo, just do what you can with it. I think now he's trying to build a team that people can get behind and that he can get behind, and they look good. They look really good. They won the league last year, which is a huge achievement, even when Messi's having an off year. Barcelona are just insanely good and have been for over a decade. And you've got to fancy him against the Shakhtar side, don't you?
Well, you would do, but I like this Shakhtar Donetsk side. I think they're a really good underrated side. They're Ukraine champions. We've already talked about how they smashed the league. I think they only lost 1 game last season. They got to the Europa League semi-final before they didn't show up against Inter Milan. They got quite heavily beaten. Junior Morales, goal machine at 33 years old, 38 goals in 51 games. I reckon they'll cause this Real Madrid side problems. I don't think it'll be an easy win for Real Madrid, but I do think they'll win 2-1.
I score I was thinking.
Here's another one of these belting ties. Inter Milan, Borussia, Mönchengladbach.
I mean, Mönchengladbach just snuck into that last Champions League spot. It didn't even feel like they were in contention for most of last year. And then all of a sudden, Leverkusen just literally fell apart for 5 games. And Mönchengladbach were like, oh, cool, yeah, we can do this. The front two of Plea and Thuram are absolutely electric. You feel like this is the year for Thuram to really take off. And Plea is such a good foil for him. The club in general are quite exciting when they want to be. They're a little bit inconsistent, which is why we didn't feel like they were a Champions League side last year. But they got in. And they're coming up against an Inter Milan side that is really bloody good thus far.
Yeah, I think this Inter Milan side could go really deep in this tournament. They're a really, really good side. Obviously, the focal point of their team is Lukaku, who just looks a completely different player. And like, I know people will use that as a stick to bash Man United with, but he just looks a completely different player.
It's the team he's playing with as well.
Looks so much more like how he looks for Belgium when he plays for Inter Milan. They were runners up behind Juve. I know Juve kind of took the foot off the gas, didn't they? So Inter Milan closed
at the very end, yeah.
They should have won the Europa League, but they got Sevilla'd by Sevilla. But they really should have won that tournament. And they'll be looking to go deep in this one. But I'm actually going to go for my first draw. I haven't done a draw yet, and I think this will start with a 1-1 draw.
I think Milan they're gonna Italian it, and they're gonna win 1-0. Manchester City versus Porto from Portugal.
Didn't really had too much trouble in the group stages, league troubles they absolutely certainly have. But in Champions League, they seem to get through in the group stages pretty comfortably now. I don't see them having too much trouble against this Porto side. I mean, we talk about Man City every week. You know what it's like. They dominate games. It's just a matter of how many they stick in the back of the net and how many defensive mistakes they can make or avoid to make. But I wouldn't imagine they'll have any trouble against this Porto side, would you?
No, absolutely not. Can't see it.
Yeah.
Score?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, if you've got nothing to say about Porto, that's fine.
No.
They were good in the league last season. They won the league. They're the Portuguese champions. You've got to give them credit for that. But they were terrible in Europe, just bowed out the Champions League. Europa League last 32. So they'll be looking for better. City, I think this will be a 4-1 win for Man City.
I think this might be. I think City have gotten used to European play now. I know they dropped out at the end of last season, but the stoppage really does mess with a lot of teams, and I think they'll just win 2-0 here, and it'll just be a really standard victory for them.
Olympiacos versus Olympique Marseille.
So Marseille were second last season, but they've not started well. Marseille, all these the Marseille, the Lyons, the second sides in France, they just seem to jump up and down. There seems to be no rhyme, no reason. You don't have consistent top play from them. They've not started the season well. They're now 10th they're in 10th after 6 games. They have beaten PSG, but apparently PSG just aren't that interested in the league this year. Payet's still their main man. They're really creative. What do you think of Olympiacos, Ian?
Yeah, well, Olympiacos are champions of Greece for what is that is worth. And they are usually in the Champions League, and they're usually one of those sides that's a tricky side to play against, and nothing more than that. But they do normally bow out in the group stage. But last season they were pretty good in the Europa League. Obviously, you all will remember, Thomas, I'm sure, that they knocked out Arsenal in the Europa League, and they very nearly knocked out Wolves in the next round. They absolutely pushed them all the way. So never a side to be taken lightly. And I think they'll beat this Marseille side. I think they'll get a good win early doors, 2-1 to Olympiacos.
I'm going to go 1-0, and Olympiacos fans, you're really angry at us for not thinking you'd beat Wolves, and you didn't, but you did play really well, so this is a bit of credit going your way.
There we go.
So
we've got back Olympiacos in every game now, Tom.
Exactly. They're gonna win the Champions League. Ajax versus... Oh, no, I've said that wrong, haven't I? Ajax versus Liverpool.
Well, there's nothing to talk about with Liverpool. We talk about them every week. We know they're...
insanely good.
We don't like to say it. They are absolutely fantastic side. For Ajax, Dutch champions, but obviously that league was cut way short and they were just given the title. Were they not given the title? I can't remember whether they awarded titles or not now come the end of it.
We'll give them the title anyway, Ian.
Well done, Ajax. But it's been another big summer of turnaround for them. Ziyech obviously went to Chelsea for big money. Van der Beek to Man U for big money and Serginho Best to Barcelona for big money. So it'll be about what they can get out of the players that come in, but that seems to be something that they're used to and something they're pretty good with. But this is not kid ourselves. The Liverpool side are going to be too good for them, I think.
Yeah, by a mile. 4-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, well done, Liverpool. I'll go for a 3-0 win.
And the final of the Champions League matches. Atlanta United hosting FC Midtjylland.
Tom, I know that you probably want to wax lyrical about Atalanta. So I'll just say FC Midtjylland, they are the Danish champions, but let's say they are probably one of the biggest minnows, probably along with like Krasnador in this Champions League group phases. They will be lucky to win a game, I would have thought. But, you know, there could be worse. It could be FC Molde in there. So not much to say about them. And you would expect goals against this Atalanta side, who can be relentless.
Yeah, Atalanta do a really good job of like using pivots and then driving forward through them. So they'll play it to a guy, they'll get 2 runners off it, create a nice triangle, play it to the next guy who will instantly get 2 runners off him. And it's just impossible to stop this sort of unrelenting attacking play. They use their wing backs really effectively. They use their center attacking mids really effectively, and they just score goals. They had like 5 players with over 10 goals last year. I think they almost
either. That's the thing. They kept but they've only lost that guy.
Their left back.
Yeah.
But they attacking wise are just unstoppable. They almost scored 100 goals in the Italian league, which is unprecedented in that sort of league. So I don't think Midtjylland were going to know what hit them. I think they're going to be happy to be there. I think they'll be resolute for about 20 minutes, and Atalanta will burn them into the ground. I'm going for a 6-0 Atalanta victory.
Oh my God. 6-0 in the poor Midtjylland. Right, I can't go for 6. 7-0.
Ian,
right.
I'm not going to fight it. I'm not fighting it. Just get it over with quickly.
Let's get it over with. Yeah, right. We're just going to dive into do selected Europa League games featuring the British sides. We're not going to go into much more detail other than literally just giving what we think the score is going to be. So then we can, and then obviously in future videos, we can talk about how they did in previous matches. Starting with Tottenham versus Lask.
Spurs are going to be too good. They're at home, so it doesn't involve a huge amount of travel. I'm going to go Spurs 3-0.
Heady days for Lask. What a shame the fans couldn't see them play Man United and now Tottenham. But obviously I think Spurs will be too good. 3-0 Tottenham.
Rapid Vienna versus Arsenal.
Best side in the Europa League. I'm not talking about Rapid Vienna, I'm talking about Arsenal. Absolutely amazing. They will grind to a nice win. That's what they seem to do. 2-1 Arsenal.
I think Vienna will find themselves rapidly out of the Europa League and Arsenal will win 2-0.
Standard Liège versus Rangers.
I will never, ever back a Scottish side ever in a football match. Standard Liège to win 2-1.
I think Rangers standard will be too good for standard, and there will be a standard above standard, and Rangers will win 2-0.
Celtic versus AC Milan.
Huge game. What a great game. I mean, I know it's Europa League, and I know Celtic aren't, or both of these sides aren't as good as they was, but still something magical about Celtic, AC Milan. I think, well, you're going 3-0 Milan? 4-0 Milan?
4.
Wow. Got no lessons football, I know he hasn't. Right, Celtic to win then. 2-1 to the boys.
This man's a nutcase. And finally, Leicester City host Zorya Luhansk.
Yeah, obviously, most people probably won't know this side. I think they finished like 6th in the Ukrainian league. I think they won like Ukrainian Cup or something, so they're proper minnows in this one. You'd back Leicester to beat them. It's probably a nice, easy start for them, although Rodgers will probably rest a ton of players. 2-0 win for Leicester City.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0. They're at home. They'll be too strong. Right, everybody, thank you for watching our videos. Please put your predictions below. We do check most of them and respond to them. I'm sorry we haven't been doing as many comments as we normally do in our videos. Please have a look below. There's a couple charities, guys doing stuff that we support. There's our Amazon affiliate links. There's Grandstand bettors who sponsor us and run our Premier League competition for us. Please have a look at them if you're interested in Tipster website. Stay safe, have fun, and much love from us, the boys.
So if you like these predictions, click on the end card and see our Premier League predictions and League One predictions as well.
What he said.